Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. Farewell, My Lovely is a 1975 crime thriller film that's directed by Dick Richards, and it features Robert Mitchum as private detective Philip Marlowe, and it's based on a novel by Raymond Chandler of the same name. The supporting cast features Charlotte Rampling, John Ireland, Jack O'Halloran, Sylvia Miles, and Harry Dean Stanton, with a colorful early screen appearance by Sylvester Stallone. The storyline goes that the hard-boiled Philip Marlowe's latest cases, one which is a search for an ex-con's lost love, and the other the murder of a client, take on an even more sinister turn when they begin to connect, leading the private eye deeper and deeper into the seamy underbelly of 1940s L.A. As the stakes are raised and the body count swells, it looks like Marlowe might be the next on the list to take the big sleep, as he is forced to follow a confusing trail of untruths and double crosses throughout the movie. Producer Elliot Kastner had made a series of films based on detective novels, including Harper and The Long Goodbye. The latter was a Philip Marlowe novel by Raymond Chandler, and Kastner was keen to film other Chandler novels. He had a script done which was set in contemporary L.A., and he showed it to director Dick Richards. Richards was interested in filming the book, but only if it was done as a period piece. Richards hired David Goodman to write the screenplay. They set the movie in 1941 so that they could stamp the film with a time mark by turning Marlowe into a baseball fan who followed Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak that was going on that very year. Kastner originally wanted the role of Philip Marlowe to be played by Richard Burton, whom he had worked with a number of times. But Burton was busy at this time, so they approached Robert Mitchum with the offer. The character of Philip Marlowe was supposed to be in his 30s, but Robert Mitchum, who plays him in the film, was actually 57 at the time. Filming of the movie took Mitchum on a trip down memory lane. The film brought him back to the derelict neighborhoods that he knew decades prior, when he was a poverty-stricken teenager. One night, as Mitchum handed out money to vagrants on the street, his actions attracted the attention of an old beat cop that was on patrol. That patrol officer took a good look at Bob Mitchum and said, "So you're back." The dark pinstripe suit that you see him wearing during the film was the only one that was available from the wardrobe department that would fit him, and there was no backup suit available if needed. That piece of clothing was made for Victor Mature during the 1940s, and Mitchum just hated the outfit, and he complained constantly during the production about having to wear Victor Mature's old farted-up suit. At the starting of filming, it was widely considered that Mitchum was way too old and too paunchy to play Philip Marlowe. Despite this, he was almost universally acclaimed by the critics, and he played the character of Marlowe with an unbelievable ease. He sounds just like Marlowe should sound. The movie spent several days shooting on location at the Harold Lloyd estate. When Mitchum goes up to meet Rampling at her place, the two are actually relaxing in Harold Lloyd's opulent office and den. The estate was used in a number of films during that period, including Shampoo from 1975 with Warren Beatty, and the Schwarzenegger vehicle Commando from 1985. It was also used in an episode of the TV series Columbo from 1971. Now, Robert Mitchum makes some really strange statements about his co-star Charlotte Rampling. He says that she arrived with an odd entourage. two husbands or something. He states that while they were doing the kissing scenes, she kept exercising her mouth like she was trying to swallow her ear. He says that he played her off the right side because she had two great big blackheads on her left ear, and he was afraid that they were going to spring out and lodge on his lip. So what seems like would have been a fun experience for him wasn't fun at all. The introduction to the movie has Marlowe stating that it was the middle of July. It's actually the end of the story that's told first. When the movie finishes, it shows him read a newspaper that's dated July 18th. This matches the date one day after Joe DiMaggio stopped his 56-game hitting record, something Marlowe has been following the whole movie. The gambling boat that you see, the Lido, is based on fact, and it operated with impunity as a gambling joint because they were just outside the jurisdictional 3-mile limit. The California Attorney General at that time tried to extend that limit to 12 miles, but he failed to do that. A 12-mile limit would have effectively shut these boats down, since a two-way water taxi trip for those lengths would be impractical for an evening's entertainment. Now, as you watch the film, you see a fairly short couple of scenes that involve Sylvester Stallone, who at that time was basically an unknown actor. In his presence, in a couple of these scenes, is a rising starlet by the name of Cheryl Rainbow Smith. She's a rising star that you see in this film, but she's a girl that completely lost her way. She was lovely and talented, and she got her nickname of Rainbow because she was a mainstay at LA's legendary Rainbow Room. Rainbow starred in many films through the 70s and early 80s, building up a really strong fan base. But as she continued to struggle with her acting career, those film roles just basically dried up after she became addicted to heroin in the mid-1980s. In the late 1980s, she was arrested several times for drug-related offenses, and she twice served time in prison. Her acting work completely went away. On October 25th, 2002, Cheryl Rainbow Smith died from complications from liver disease and hepatitis that were all brought on from her drug addiction. Again, it's always sad to see this happen, and you see it many times in Hollywood. Take a look back at this fascinating film, and I think it's a pretty good one. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.